medical procedure, right? Except that plate doesn't just become part of her brain, it rewires it. Imagine if your trauma didn't just give you trust issues, it gives you feelings for automobiles and the car.
I want to come to the decision that some directors need their license revoked, or whatever you want to call it. Horror movies, you have zero chance of surviving. Body horror. Shit, y'all know how I get. Is a nigga really stopping me? Who's to tell me I got zero chance of surviving this?
I was watching a video essay last week about The Substance, which is a body horror movie that came out this year. And I noticed that all the comments looked very similar. I'm built different.
I am, though.
Stupid, and you'd live this. This wouldn't happen to me. Well, after studying thousands of body horror films, I've discovered something terrifying. There's one body horror movie that has a 100% kill rate. Not because it's violent, not because it's grotesque,
have to show me.
but because it makes survival mathematically impossible.
You got to show
no,
me.
It's not the one you're thinking of. But by the end of this video, I'll prove why even your built different genetics can't save you from this movie. But first, let's talk about why you wouldn't survive these other 9 transformations. And I already can see you typing in the comments, not me, I'm built different, I can domain expansion. I don't want to hear it. But if you really think you can survive, make sure you like the video. And
I got you to like after the video.
I can continue to prove you wrong. Before James Gunn made dancing trees and talking raccoons, he created something that makes Thanos look like a Disney princess. Something that turns your entire town into an all-you-can-eat buffet, where you're the main course. Picture this, you're living in small town USA, the kind of place where the biggest drama is when your neighbor's dog pooped in your yard. Then something crashes from the sky, but it's not a friendly alien crash. We're talking about meat-hungry space slugs that treat your body like a free Airbnb. Just don't let them touch you. Oh, you sweet, sweet, naive child. These things move faster than your parents finding your embarrassing childhood photos when your friends come over to visit. 1 second, you're taking out the trash. Next second, you are the trash. Let's break down your survival chances.
Let's see.
These parasites can enter through any opening, and they're very creative about making new ones. 2, they spread faster than your aunt sharing conspiracy theories on Facebook. And 3, the infected keep their memories, meaning your mom still remembers how to guilt trip you. She just also now wants to eat your face.
What that mouth do? Hold on, let me chill. But look, I'm telling you, I'm surviving this. I'm not doing bullshit like this. I wouldn't go to a small town like this, you feel me? I'm more of a, you feel me, out, you know, in the city for real, with a lot of shit going on every day. This ain't working, so I'm surviving.
But here's the real horror. The infected remember everything about you. Your best friend still knows your secrets. Your spouse still remembers your anniversary. They just
damn, nigga, you lurking.
Also happen to be hosting a parasite potluck in their stomach. Think about it. When your best friend shows up at 3 a.m. crying, asking to come in, are you really gonna leave them outside?
I would. That nigga looks deformed.
Exactly how they get you.
That nigga looks deformed.
Isn't an emotional breakdown, but a dinner invitation where you're the main course? It's already too late. But if you think alien parasites turning your neighbors into all-you-can-eat restaurants is bad, wait until you see what happens when a party drug decides to literally reshape your social
circle. Not a blood.
When I say reshape, I mean reshape. You ever been tempted to try something just once? I'll only do it on the weekends. I can control it. One time won't hurt. That's exactly what the main character of The Substance thought. Now she's watching her bones rearrange themselves like
a look, I don't drink or take substances I don't fucking know. So I'm surviving this too.
IKEA employee assembling furniture. See, she thought she could handle it. A week of being ugly for a week of being hot. Simple time management, right? Except here's what actually happens. The second that substance hits your system, you're not planning schedules anymore. You're planning your next fix. And trust me, your body's about to become very flexible with its definition of fix. You need to follow the delicate balance. Otherwise, bad things start happening.
Yeah, bitch. Is that a hand? She became a hand?
Would you ever want to be ugly again?
I wouldn't.
Probably not. Most people are not going to be able to live 2 dual lives. It's literally almost impossible. So let's break down why you're not as strong as you think in this situation. 1, your first transformation feels amazing. Imagine every single Instagram filter you've ever thought of all hitting your face at once. 2, but then the appeal starts wearing off faster than your New Year's resolutions.
That's the type of shit, like when you laid up with your girl, she asked you, would you still love me if I look like this? I'm not lying to you. You look like the nigga off the Hobbit.
3,
I'm not doing
you're
it.
not just choosing.
Why is she a hand out her
doing it
face?
for you because your hot and ugly body are now fighting each other for control. And 4, that's when the real horror starts. I'll just stop when I'm satisfied. Yeah, that's what everyone says, but this isn't like your caffeine addiction. Have you ever been complimented by someone you like? That feeling is addicting. Now imagine it happening everywhere you go. You're not gonna want to go back to being ugly. The real horror isn't even the transformation. It's watching yourself make choices you swore you'd never make. You start to become a whole new person. Literally.
But shit, I feel like I look like a regular nigga, so there's nothing I really need to change on some shit. So this not happening to me.
But if you think losing control of your body is bad, wait until you meet someone who's about to make
2-0.
all of those choices for you. Because the human centipede isn't just about losing
Okay,
control of your
this
body.
is
So it's someone else deciding exactly
I know
what to
this
do with
movie.
it. Picture this: you're backpacking down through Europe. Your car breaks down in the middle of nowhere. Classic horror movie setup, right? But this isn't about some mass killer with a chainsaw. No, you're about to meet someone way, way worse. A surgeon who looked at the human digestive system and thought, that bitch needs a sequel. The doctor isn't your typical movie villain. He's not some back alley hack job. He's literally one of the world's best surgeons out there. This is the kind of doctor who could separate conjoined twins, except he's more interested in the opposite. Just don't accept help from strangers. Oh, you think you'd recognize the danger? This man has a medical license, a prestigious home, and more degrees than your thermostat. By the time
I'm not trusting
medical consultation, you're already more sedated than a wisdom tooth removal patient.
I'm surviving this real shit. I'm not putting myself in a situation like I know me.
About to have 2 best friends for the rest of your life.
I'm sorry, Chad.
I'm
sorry. I'm not going for this.
Rewrite your entire anatomy. 2, his medical knowledge means your sedation is
that an asshole?
calculated. You're not gonna escape. And 3, even if you do escape, your body's been let's
Altered
just say
with.
renovated beyond repair, because YouTube won't like the words I want to actually use. 4, and the psychological trauma, that's just the side effect. But here's the real nightmare: you're aware enough to understand everything. Imagine being fully conscious but completely unable to move, like sleep paralysis. But instead of seeing shadowy figures, you're watching a certified surgeon turn you into part of his human art project. The true horror isn't just the surgery, it's the complete destruction of individual autonomy. Every breath, every movement, every moment of your existence is now synchronized with your fellow segments. And you think your group projects were bad? Try
Who even thought about this movie, bro?
Functions with 2 other
cause why? My thing is, the human centipede, they're all connected. Who eats? Because one person has to eat and then eat the shit. You feel me? One nigga eats food, he shits. The person eats the shit. It's a cycle. Never ending cycle. But who thought about this movie? All right, like, who really thought this was a good idea?
Dear God, you do not want to be the middle person. But if
you don't. Oh God, you don't.
Transformed into a human chain is the worst thing that could happen to you. Wait until you meet someone who makes this doctor look like a school nurse, because Tusk is about to show you why some Craigslist interviews should stay unanswered. Have you ever noticed how everyone's desperate?
I'm never doing this. I'm pouring over.
Who built his career mocking weird internet content? You know the type. The guy who thinks he's above it all, laughing at everyone else's expense. Well, he's about to become the world's most disturbing viral story himself, looking for someone to share fascinating life stories. Room and board provided. Sounds like every journalist's dream, right? Except this isn't your typical human interest story.
Yeah,
this is how
he got saved by a walrus. And you want to remake the walrus out of a person.
Turning humans into walruses. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally. You take you and you become walrus. Just leave when things start to get weird. Oh, you naive person. Howard isn't some amateur body modifier working out of his garage. This man has transformed his entire mansion into a psychological maze. Every room, every conversation, every cup of tea is part of a planned decade.
I don't drink tea neither, so I'm straight.
You realize you're not interviewing him, he's interviewing you for a very specific position. Permanent walrus resident. Let's dissect your complete lack of escape options.
Bro, okay,
1, you're in a giant mansion with no escape. 2, your host has more patience than a Dark Souls player fighting the same boss for the 100th.
I could choke the nigga out, alright? That nigga's kind of old, you feel me? One little sneaker, I'm straight. I'm surviving this too, nigga. I'm 4-0.
Time.
I'm 4-0.
Surgery isn't just physical, it's a complete psychological rebuild from the ground up. 4, and yes, you'll have to learn to love raw fish. Hope you like sushi. But here's the real nightmare. Wallace made his career laughing at people's weird stories. Now he's becoming the weirdest story of all. The true horror here isn't just losing your human form, it's losing your humanity piece by piece.
Like shit, it got to the point where this nigga really thought he was a walrus. Like, they fought to the... Y'all don't understand how weird this movie was. The guy that turned into a walrus, right? He put on his own walrus suit and said, "For you to fully become one, you have to kill me." Like what? Like this nigga, it's not Macbeth, alright?
Completely aware of it. Imagine feeling your identity slip away like a
like
melting ice cream
this
cone,
nigga's weird.
and instead it's replaced by walrus instincts. The worst part? A small part of you starts preferring it. But if you think becoming a walrus is the peak of body horror, wait until you see what happens when a routine autopsy reveals something that should have stayed buried, because the autopsy of Jane Doe is about to make you realize why some questions are better left unanswered. Every medical examiner has that one case that keeps them up at night. The weird ones, the unexplainable ones, but only one made them question everything they knew about human anatomy and death itself. Meet the Tildens, father and son morticians who've seen everything. 3 decades of experience, thousands of autopsies, the kind of professionals who can read a dead body like you read Twitter, until Jane Doe turned their medical textbooks into fiction. Just treat it like any other autopsy. Come on, man. Let me break down what they find in this movie in the first 5 minutes. No external wounds on a murder victim. Wrists and ankles shattered from the inside. Tongue removed with no incision. That's just the appetizer of things that are medically impossible. Think about it. You're a professional in this movie. You've got more medical knowledge than WebMD on steroids, but every cut reveals something.
That shit, it be my tongue curl right there, chat. I ain't gonna lie.
Lungs black as coal in someone who's never smoked a cigarette. Internal scarring, but with pristine skin. Organs that look used multiple times. And a body that gets fresher the longer it's dead. But here's the real nightmare. You can't stop. Every discovery demands an explanation. Every impossible finding needs to make sense. You're watching science itself break down in front of you, and your professional
it's one of those,
won't let you walk away. It's like a puzzle where
it keeps reeling them in. Kill this thing on.
Even more. The true horror isn't just what's inside Jane Doe. It's how she turns your expertise against you. Each cut, each test, each logical decision pulls you deeper into her game. And by the time you realize this autopsy is actually your examination, well, let's just say Jane Doe is about to add 2 more specimens to her collection. But if you think an impossible autopsy is the worst thing that could happen in a morgue, wait until you see what happens when body.
I'm 5-0. I'm not a fucking doctor, nigga. What am I doing there? You feel me? What am I doing? I really don't give a fuck. All right, so I'm 5-0.
Modification.
That's all. That was it.
And starts
Come on now, chat.
Because Titan is about to make your piercings look like temporary tattoos. You know those car commercials?
Y'all gooners gonna go back and look at it. I know.
Becomes part of you. Yeah, Titan takes that literally, and I mean literally. Literally, not figuratively. Literally, we're talking about a movie that takes the Herbie series and combines it with 50 Shades of Grey. It starts simple enough. Young girl gets titanium plate in her head after a car crash. Standard medical procedure, right? Except that plate doesn't just become part of her brain, it rewires it. Imagine if your trauma didn't just give you trust issues, it gives you feelings for automobiles and the car.
I wanna come to the decision that some directors need their license revoked, or whatever you want to call it. Y'all made this girl like Autobots. Y'all like what are we doing?
Ours, well, let's just say they like you back.
What?
Wait, have you seen modern society? That's like saying just avoid breathing. Besides, when your body starts producing motor oil instead of sweat, you're way past the point of a lifestyle change. Let's diagnose this automotive body horror. 1, your body is literally becoming diesel fuel. 2,
that makes no sense.
Test is positive after a night with a Cadillac.
That makes no sense.
It's just a browser anymore. It's an appetite. And 4, your body count includes people and vehicles.
That makes no sense.
In this movie, she bangs a car. There's
How do you do that?
Putting it. Here's where things get really messed up. To hide what she's becoming, Alexia has to destroy who she is. We're talking breaking every bone in her face, binding down her engine-pregnant body to hide her car baby, and becoming an entirely different person. The true horror isn't just the metal flesh fusion.
I'm a boy, so I can't get pregnant. I'm sorry to tell you. That's not happening to me. I'm 6-0, chat. Give it up.
It's the complete disillusion of human identity.
I'm too straight.
Breaks another bone to change her appearance. Every time she swallows another mouthful of motor oil, she's not just changing her body. She's upgrading to a new model of existence. Warranty? There isn't one. But if you think becoming a human vehicle hybrid is the peak of body horror, wait until you see what happens when the 1% decides to take eating literally, but in reverse. Because society is about to make your class anxiety look like a parking ticket. You know those lifestyle lifestyle influencers showing off their old money aesthetic? Well, society is about to show you what old money really means.
I could have sworn you've seen this already.
It's not about tennis skirts and trust funds. It's about something much more digestible. Meet Bill, a teenager born into wealth who starts noticing something wrong with his family. Not my sister is like a furry or something wrong. More like I just saw my parents turn into living abstract art and absorb the housekeeping staff.
What?
Wrong. Yeah,
the
that
fuck?
kind of wrong. Just avoid rich people. Dude, in this economy, that's like saying just don't breathe air. Besides, they're not just at the top of the food chain. They are the food chain. When they talk about liquid assets, they mean it literally. Let's dissect this capitalist nightmare. 1, the elite aren't just metaphorically consuming the lower class. They're having us for dinner. 2, their bodies can merge and
we've seen this in another video, right? The society,
it was modern art. 3, that exclusive country club, it's actually their buffet line. And 4, you know those trickle down economy effect they always talk about? Let's just say it's not economics they're trickling anymore.
Hey bro, I'm surviving this. I'm not going near this, so it's 7-0.
These creatures have been running things since before being rich was trendy. Every major historical event, every economic collapse, every suspicious disappearance of the working class, it wasn't just bad policy. It was dinner time. The true horror isn't discovering that the rich are actually shape-shifting parasites. It's realizing they're not even hiding it anymore. The fancy rich weekend getaway, more like an all-you-can-eat absorb buffet. That merger and acquisition, well, let's just say the merger part is very hands-on. But if you think shape-shifting rich people are the peak of body horror, wait to see what happens when perfect imitation meets Among Us. Because the thing is about to make your social anxiety look like a casual handshake. You think your trust issues are bad? Imagine being trapped in the most isolated place on earth with a creature that doesn't just wear your friends out.
I'm surviving this shit
so perfectly they don't even know they're not human anymore. Welcome to the thing where Among Us
wouldn't even be over there.
Game anymore. It starts with the oldest trick.
I wouldn't be over there, Chad.
Cute dog running.
I'm surviving it.
Even in Antarctica, humans can't resist helping a pupper in distress. Except
fuck that dog.
Is actually a biological nightmare that
fuck
makes
that
COVID's
dog.
infection rate look like amateur hour. And that's just the beginning of all their problems. Just check everyone's DNA. Dude, this thing is DNA. Every single cell is conscious. We're not talking about some mindless virus here. We're dealing with intelligent cancer that can do calculus. Each cell can think, plan, and perfectly replicate anything it touches. Your immune system isn't just outmatched, it's outwitted. Let's mathematically break down your extinction. 1, it copies memories perfectly. Your best friend isn't pretending to be your best friend. They are your best friend until they're not. 2, a single cell can infect an entire living organism. 3, you can't even trust your own body. You might be infected and not even know it. And 4, the best part, it learns from every failed attempt. Here's the real nightmare. The paranoia isn't just paranoia anymore. That weird laugh your friend just did could be the alien cells practicing human behavior. That handshake might be friendship, might be infection. That memory you have of yesterday might be yours, might be copied data. The true horror here isn't watching someone's head tear off and grow spider legs, though that's certainly a contender for worst party trick ever. It's the complete destruction
I'm surviving all this.
When perfect imitation meets isolation, trust doesn't just die, it becomes a liability. But if you think perfect cellular imitation is the peak of body horror,
realistically, are y'all down to that? Any of these, you feel me? Human centipede? That ain't going. I'm not going over there. Hey, even if I could, I'll just choke slam the nigga. You feel me? That nigga looks like he's in his middle aged. I'm in my prime. You feel me? That nigga's cooked. The walrus shit, same thing. He's middle aged. I'm in my prime. He's fucking cooked. Try that shit with me. And all the other shit, you feel me? The Jane Doe one, the surgical shit. I'm not a fucking doctor. Surviving it. It's like, come on, bro. It gets to a point. The substance, I don't take substances. I'm not a drug addict. I'm surviving it. Slither, I don't stay in a small town, never would. I'm surviving it. Tusk, yeah, we just talked about Tusk, yeah. Yeah, that one too. Titanium, that's just like, I'm surviving that too. Where am I dying from? You feel me? Society, just living in the outskirts of town, you straight. And then the thing, yeah, I'm surviving that, you feel me?
what happens when a teleporter
Tell
decides
you.
to play matchmaker with human.
I might fuck around and die right
here.
here.
Is about to make your worst Tinder date look like a
This might be a
tale.
problem.
So have you ever made a bad dating choice? Left swipe, right swipe, oops, matched with a housefly. Okay, that last one's just Seth Brundle's problem. But unlike your dating fails, his is about to rewrite his genetic code in ways that make body
Did he try to reproduce with a fly?
With stickers. Meet Seth Brundle, genius scientist, awkward flirt, and about to become the world's first human insect fusion restaurant.
Okay.
And no, this isn't because of some shadowy government project or evil corporation. No, this man just literally merged his DNA with a fly because he was drunk and jealous. This makes all my drunk texts. You're jealous of a fly, my nigga? Just don't teleport drunk. Oh, honey. We're way past good life choices here. The real horror isn't the accident. It's watching someone get excited about their own genetic apocalypse. Imagine if your gym gains were actually countdown markers to becoming something that violates every law of nature. Like if your protein shake was secretly genetic gasoline. Let's scientifically analyze why you're
So you got powers of a fly.
1. Your DNA isn't mutating. It's having an existential crisis. 2. Every enhancement is actually a countdown to your extinction. 3. You maintain perfect scientific awareness of your own destruction. And 4. That new diet plan, it's called dissolving food with acid vomit. But
look, dude, why would I ever fuse myself with a fly? You feel me? Why would this ever happen to me? I'm surviving it.
The true nightmare. This self.
I'm not
doesn't just transform. He documents every excruciating detail with scientific precision. Imagine being so smart to understand exactly how you're becoming a monster, but your brilliant mind can only watch and take notes. It's like being the world's smartest passenger in your own genetic car crash. The real horror isn't watching fingers fall off or acid vomit dissolving donuts.
Yeah.
It's a perfectly documented loss of self. You're not just dying, you're becoming a peer-reviewed case study in evolutionary horror. And the worst part, your scientist brain thinks it's cool. But if you thought this was bad, it's time to reveal which of these transformations actually has the mathematically impossible survival rate. Because sometimes the worst monster isn't the one that changes your body, it's the ones that make survival of the human race mathematically impossible. So why does the Thing have a mathematically proven 100% kill rate? Let's break down the science of perfect paranoia. Every other body horror movie we've discussed, they all give you a fighting chance. Even if it's slim. But the Thing, it turns survival itself into a mathematical impossibility. Think about it. Every other transformation has visible signs. Brundlefly, you see the changes. Society's elite, they literally melt in front of you. Titan, there's motor oil everywhere. That
just makes no sense.
But the Thing, perfect.
That makes no sense, brother. I'm too bad.
Tests, no signs.
Motor oil form? That makes no sense,
Let's
bro.
do the actual math of survival. 1. In a group of 10 people, it takes just 1 cell to infect someone. 2. Each person needs to sleep eventually. That's 8 hours of vulnerability. 3. The Thing can infect you without you even knowing. And 4. Even if you're not infected, you can't trust that you're not already the Thing.
What
This isn't just body horror. It's mathematical.
Bro.
Your chances of survival don't just decrease. They become negative numbers. The real mathematical nightmare here is even if you survive an encounter, the paranoia ensures you'll never survive long term. Every human interaction becomes a probability.
Nah, I got it. I'll survive.
The infection.
I'm
that
different.
Shared meal you had, potential assimilation. That moment you blinked, maybe you're already infected. The true horror here isn't just the physical transformation. It's the statistical certainty.
That makes no sense,
other
bro.
monsters might kill you, but the Thing makes survival itself impossible. Even if you're alone, you can't trust your own memories.
So how the fuck did they beat the monster in the movie, bro? Somebody survived, and I feel like it could be that somebody.
Are you still you? Or are you just a perfect copy thinking it's the original? That's why the Thing has a 100% kill rate. It's not about the body horror, though that's nightmare fuel enough. It's not about the isolation, though that does drive you mad. It's about creating a scenario where survival isn't just unlikely, it is literally impossible. Because when perfect imitation meets isolation, meets paranoia, the only certainty is extinction. So next time someone
just
says
Among
they
Us, bro.
survived any horror movie, show them the math. Because against the Thing, even being built different, like you who's commenting that right now, is just another variable in an equation that always equals death. But if you're still sitting there saying, nah.
See, look, though. Let the first thing be infected, you feel me? Nigga like me, I be in my room to myself. So I get a call on the walkie-talkie, some people been infected. I'm out of that bitch. Don't give a fuck what y'all got going on. Y'all niggas complete the plot without me. I'm going home. I'm surviving it. I can understand it.
Though. I'm just building.
Yeah, I have to understand it.
I got bad news for you because I've got tons of other videos explaining why you would not survive these horror movies. If you think you still would, you're gonna have to like this video, subscribe.
Hey, bro, I got you. I got you. Feel me? But I'm surviving that shit. Merch. It's like, comment. It shit the video. I ain't gonna lie. You trying nigga trying to blow up on some shit.